All right, welcome family. This is Joe with Schematic Solutions. Today we're going to be going over lesson 5, which is going to be risk to reward and risk management. So now, ultimately, these are two of our biggest edges. So if you've read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, he talks about an edge, meaning something that allows for you to be profitable, something that helps you a little bit more. Um, and these are big edges for us. So risk to reward allows us to actually have a huge amount of cushion. And there's times to where, let's say, you're having just like bad market conditions, a bad low losing week, just you catching one large R to R trade can bring back some like obviously all of your losses plus some profits, which is amazing. So now also risk management. Now the importance of risk management is that it actually allows you to stay in the game. Meaning, let's say that we are taking a bunch of trades and for some reason they just all lose. At that point, let's say we over leveraged our account, we blew our account, and the next trade comes around and it's perfect. 10 out of 10, it's no brainer. You go to your MC4 and you're like, place a trade, but you can't because your account's blown. You're trying to fund your account up real quick, and ultimately you miss out on the trade. So now risk management ensures you don't run into situations like that because you're managing your risk appropriately. Um, but yeah, so ultimately, a quote I like to use is you can't score if you aren't in the game, which is why we should always be risk managed. So, why risk management? Why risk reward? First things first, let's talk about why we use a predefined risk. And this comes from an experience that I had maybe a year or two ago when I first started my journey. Now, I remember I took 3 trades and I won the first two and I lost the last one. So now I remember the first one was like a point 0.10 lot size and I caught about 50 pips. So it was about $50. The second trade caught about 50 pips as well on a point 0.2 lot size and I made about $100. So that's about $150 total um, off of 100 pips. Let's write that down. Let's write that down. We have 100 pips, and I made about 150 total. So then on the third trade, I ended up placing because I'm euphoric. I feel I can't be stopped. I'm happy, so I feel like okay, I don't need to follow this risk management. I don't need to have my predefined risk. I'm gonna decide. You know what? I'm gonna drop a point 0.5 lot size. Point 0.5 lot size. Stop loss is 50 pips at the time, and it hit stop loss. So we subtract 50 pips. So I should be positive 50 pips, but due to the fact that I didn't have a consistent predefined risk, I ended up losing 100 or 250 on it. So yeah, so in total, I'm down $100. Total, I'm up 50 pips. I'm up 50 pips, but I'm down $100. And this is why this right here is why we choose to use risk management and have a predefined risk before entering any trade. So my predefined risk will be 1%, 2%, whatever the case may be. Um, so now let's get into some of the risk rewards. Let's get into risk rewards. Or before we get into risk reward, family, sorry, let's talk about how we calculate our risk, how we manage our risk. So first things first, you can always use a simple formula, which will be lot size times 10 times the number of pips will equal how much you're going to win or lose. So real simple, it's a formula, but I know most of us don't like doing that. So you can go to something called My Forex Books. Um, Pull it up right here, My Forex Books, and you can go straight to their position size calculator, and you can calculate your risk yourself based off of your account size, however much you want to risk, and the actual stop loss pips. So pretty simple. Now let's get into risk to reward. This is one of my favorite aspects of trading because this is where like the magic really happens. I remember when I first started trading, a lot of times all these like people who claim they're great traders, they're showing off 1-to-1s, 1-to-2s, 1-to-3s, maybe a 1-to-5, maybe a 1-to-5 every 2-3 months. And keep in mind, nothing's wrong with those. Like we still catch 1-to-1s if we take a partial, and it hits break even, whatever the case may be. But we want to have higher risk rewards. So personally, for our team, our bare minimum is a 1-to-10 for us to even place the position. We have to at least be able to catch a 1-to-10 to place it, and that ensures that we only have to win 1 out of 10 trades to be profitable. So how would you feel if you only have to win 1 trade out of 10 trades to be profitable? Meaning you place 10 random trades. If 1 wins, you're profitable. If 2 wins, you're up for the week. 3 wins, you're big up. So this is the benefit of risk reward, because as your win rate, or let's say as your risk reward goes up, your win rate can honestly go down. You can lose a lot more, which is why having a large risk reward, or learning how to trade and enter positions with large risk rewards, especially as a beginner trainer or trader, is extremely important. Because let's say you're just having a bad week. Let's say you're having a bad week and you take 10 trades, 8 losing trades. But keep in mind, our minimum RR is a 1-to-10. So let's say for each one of those trades, we're risking 1%. First trade, we lost 1%. Second trade, we lost 1%. Third trade, we win 10%. Fourth trade, we lost 1%. Fifth trade, we win 10%. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we lose 1%, all of those. Total losses were 8 losses. And total wins were 2 wins. And we're actually positive 12% on the week. Losing 8 times and winning twice, we're positive 12%. That's helping you pass your FTMO challenge right there, or whatever other prop firm you guys are going for. So this is why we utilize risk management and risk reward so heavily, family. But last but not least, we do have one more example. Now, the example is going to be a 2-person example, and these 2 people, they have the same amount of money. They have $100. Now, person number 1 is going to be risking 10% of his account, which means he'll only be able to take 10 trades. Person number 2 is going to be risking 5% of his account and only going to be able to risk or to take 20 trades. So let's say that week number 1, extremely bad market conditions, and they both take 10 losses. The next week comes around and person number 1 tries to place his trade, but he's out of the game. His account is blown. So he's struggling, trying to fund his account up, or maybe he doesn't even have the money to fund it, and he's just sitting there bad. Person number 2, on the other hand, he took those same 10 trades and lost. He's at 50% of his account right now, but he has the opportunity to capitalize off of a better week, off of some great market conditions. And let's say this week, since he was still in the game, he had the opportunity to make his losses back and more. And this is why risk to reward and risk management are so extremely important. And I would honestly say that risk to reward and risk management are more important than any of your other confirmations, more than market structure, more than point of interest, more than Wyckoff. Risk to reward and risk management is something that you can win with just by itself, family. But if you guys do have any other questions, feel free to hop on the lives and ask. If not, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Talk to you guys soon.